There are 4 topics for today's video. I want to show you my invocation of SAS. I want to show you my settings, which are in the SAS user profile. I want to show you how I do versioning, and I want to demonstrate the magic string. So right below, you can see in line 12 here what my invocation looks like. Obviously the SAS exec is first, and then I always provide a place for my work library, sometimes on a separate I/O channel or separate drive. SAS user is where the profile, the function keys, and many of the intermediate SAS source files that I like to keep around. AWS control no title gets rid of the top blue banner, which I find kind of useless, and I'd rather have the real estate for programming. No splash, so that I don't get that initial SAS splash when I bring it up. Init folder, that's where I'm going to save my programs. C:\util is a folder where I put all my programs. Echo auto, all that does is show you the auto exec when you execute it. I want to the auto exec is somewhat important there. I'm only going to show you one key line in my auto exec, just trying to keep this simple today. Rlang, I interface a lot with R, with and without IML. Maybe I can show you in a future video. Autosave lock is where my versioning library is, and I've set it up so SAS automatically saves, periodically saves what I'm working on in that folder. SAS autos is absolutely critical. That's where all my command macros are, all of my SAS commands that I've added to the ones that SAS provides for the old text editor. The settings below are a little bit complicated and take a little bit of time, but you can do it once. You can create profile.sas7bdat by setting everything up, even the position of your windows, and basically all of your setup goes into that one catalog, along with quite a few other interesting things. You don't have to do what I'm about to show you, all the clicking and all of the hand setting, manual setting. In fact, I've set these things like 2 or 3 years ago. I set up my profile, and when a new version of SAS comes out, I just plop the profile into my SAS user directory, and when I bring up SAS, I've got everything set the way I want it. I've never lost. Well, sometimes the profile will be corrupted, and I do save it once every couple months. I'll just make a copy of it in case it gets corrupted. You can repair it often too. So, but at any rate, let's talk a little bit about what kind of settings you would have to set up if you were going to do it manually. I don't use the enhanced editor. So basically I have to get rid of the enhanced editor. I do that by selecting the program editor, go to view and click on program editor. I also like to minimize the enhanced editor so that if it pops up, it'll look like a postage stamp. And I do not use EG. Now there's some settings you can do on tools, options, preferences. I save the last 30 programs. Actually the last 30 changes will be saved for you, so you can undo quite a few things that you've done just by clicking, I have it on a function key, the undo function. I turn off the horizontal scroll bar. I turn on the command line. I would like to turn off the vertical scroll bar, but it's not possible. If you do that, you cannot use with my setup in my mouse, I cannot use the scroll wheel, and I cannot highlight more than one visual panel in any of the SAS Windows log output or program. I turn off all 4 boxes, I forgot what they are, in the customize session. I don't want HTML popping up or Excel sheets or all that kind of stuff popping them up. I have function keys if I want to do those things. Now in your auto exec, you need this one line if you want to use versioning. It just primes the versioning with the time of day in seconds. It's going to use that in a timestamp when it saves your program in the versioning library. You also need to put this on the middle mouse button. What this does is when you hit the middle mouse button, it will save a copy of your current program in the util or your production library, and it will save a copy with a timestamp in your versioning folder. And actually what happens is it increments by 1 second the timestamp each time you hit the middle mouse button. So you do get a lot of programs, but it's not an issue. At least, you know, it takes maybe, I think over 6 months I might use 20 megabytes or something. Notice I did eliminate the top blue bar, which a lot of people use to interrupt SAS. So if you do get rid of the top blue banner, you have to have an attention button on a function key. Control R gives me the attention, and if that doesn't work, you can use Control Alt Delete, which, if it can, will pop up the SAS options to stop SQL or stop a data step or kill all submitted process. That you've probably all seen that panel where it gives you many options. Notice if you don't have the blue, you can't minimize the SAS window, but you can just by using the Windows D or the little square, blue square, usually on the lower left of the taskbar, will bring up the background or the desktop and minimize SAS. The magic string is absolutely critical, because SAS, if you have an open quote, or you got a cards for and no 4 semicolons, then SAS will continue to eat your code. It'll just do nothing but, you know, concatenate code without executing anything. So on function F12, I have this this magic string, which is guaranteed at least 99.9% of the time it will get you out of that frozen condition. It's a bit complicated. It just closes a whole bunch of things that could have been open. And it does some other kind of nice things too. I don't know, SAS, you know, a few versions ago started this thing, I think it's a results folder, which to me it just keeps building and building. Sometimes it has 1,000 entries in it. What's nice about this is you can even hit this just to clear out all of those many results, which can really slow things down. But it's turning, you know, if you had print to and you were printing your log and your output to a file and you're wondering why you're not seeing it, well, this will reset print to. It'll just do a whole bunch of stuff. But now I want to show you versioning. That's what this talk was really about. You have to execute this at least once. It has to know the program name. And I have right mouse button to submit. So I hit the right mouse button. I've submitted that code. Now if I hit the middle mouse button, it'll say you have a production version in util. Do you want to overwrite it? And I always say yes. Now what's happened is it's saved this code right here in util. It's right there. Okay. But it's also in C:/VER. Whoops. Well, let's just go to it. There it is, and it has 71,899. That's probably roughly, 9 o'clock in the evening this Wednesday, July 24th. So if I look at this, let's see, SAS viewer, there it is. And if I save it again, it'll be, let's see, if I save it again, it'll be 900. The timestamp will be 1 second later. So I do want to just show you one more thing before let's see. I just show you at some point I want to do a video on keys. These are my function keys. I've got every single one set, and there's a lot of nice stuff that goes on here with these function keys. I have 20 of them set to the mouse, but we'll get into that later. I hope you found this interesting, and maybe you want to look at some of my other videos. Thank you again.